Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, it's Tal Cloud in for John Mallis with Connect With Me. We've got a great show for you today. In fact, we have royalty in the building, someone that owns an entire town here in Fresno County. Stay tuned for a great show. We'll be right back from the beautiful Ventura TV studios.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Hi, it's Tal Cloud in with many great guests today with Connect With Me with John Mallis. In fact, John's not here today. Today's his last day, so it's my last day here on this set, having a great time. We have a great show planned for you, but first, we want you to realize you can watch this show on Comcast 187. You can also watch it live on 43.6 Me TV, live on 13.1 Me TV, and it's replayed every day at 2 to 3 p.m. on 13.6 YouTube. Also, it's replayed at 8 and 9 o'clock tonight on 13.5 and Biz TV. If you want to be part of the program, give us a call at 436-ME-TV, option 11. Well, listen, we have a great show today. I mentioned we have royalty in the building. We have the queen of the giant town of Minkler. She also happens to own Minkler. Minkler is one of the towns that was once for sale on the internet. No one chose to buy it. The queen decided to stay, and we're going to find out where she got her name from and what it takes to run a small business like Minkler. Also, a brand new business in Minkler. So we have one business that's been there for almost 100 years and another business that's opening up for the first time and has only been in business for a little over a month. At the end of the program, the last segments, we're going to talk about small business lending with CenCal Business Finance, Cal Kane. If you're looking to open a business, how you get SBA financing, as well as other SBA loan programs, microloan programs. So we've got a great business-related show to you. Find out what makes these businesses successful and the challenges they face. So great to be back and great to meet you, Mary.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being on the studio. And we come back, we're going to have a great show from the beautiful studios here at Ventura TV. We'll be right back with Connect With Me with Tal Cloud.
It's Sully and Russ on the Big Biz Show.
It's your biz.
And maybe they'll start listening to Baldwin
Now,
McCullough.
before you make any money moves, check in with the Brain Trust.
And you are starting your week off right.
All right, once again, it's Tal Cloud on Connect With Me for John Mallis. I'm filling in today. It's been a great couple days here in the studios of Ventura TV. And what we've tried to do today is bring you a show that talks about business and what it takes to be successful in business. You know, so many businesses you see don't make it for a very long time. But we have one today that's been in business almost 100 years. They're 95 years in business, have been the same family for nearly since almost 50 years. I don't know exactly what that millennium, I guess, or almost a millennium. So it's been in business for a long time together, and there's something special to be said about that. So Mary, welcome to the show. Welcome to Connect With Me.
Thank you.
And tell us a little about the history of Minkler and how long your family's been in Minkler, and just a little bit about the background of your store. And in case you don't know, let's talk about where Minkler's at first. A lot of people don't know where Minkler's at. It's the turn on the road in Highway 180. So as you're heading out east of town from Highway 180, it's about 15 minutes from Sanger, 10 minutes from Sanger, maybe 25 minutes from the city of Fresno now with the new 180 connector. So it's really an easy drive. It's out in the country. It's in Sanger country, near Sherwood Forest, on the way to the Sequoia. So it's a beautiful little curve in the road. It has its own sign, its own town.
Yes.
There's 30 people living there right now. So it's a little part of Fresno County history. So tell us about your history, Mary.
My history, my mom and my stepdad built it, or actually bought the business in 1970. He soon died after that. I have been incorporated in the store the whole time, probably almost 45 years working there.
So you've worked in that store that long?
My only job ever.
Your only job ever?
Ever, except for babysitting and pulling weeds. So,
okay.
Other than that, it's been very interesting. Lots of neat people. You know, in the 70s, we had Bob Mathias. He had his camp up there. My mom personally knew him. He's probably the biggest celebrity we have ever had in the store. Just amazing, you know, tourists and farm workers, local guys. You know, there's always a little, you know, thing about the world going on in Minkler, and we try to settle as many as we possibly can. And I profess that it's the center of the universe.
Yeah, you've had some T-shirts I saw in your store once that you have the world and the whole world, and then you have in the center is Minkler. And you think the world revolves around Minkler in your opinion?
Exactly, of course. You know, it always comes back to Minkler no matter what. It's been a family-owned business for almost 100 years. We're all going to make that. I'm hoping to make that. You know, there was a railroad that went through with co-ops of fruit growing, and it's a beautiful downtown little, especially this time of year. Thank you also for offering this to us, because, you know, we have an old business established, a new business coming in. We also have some trees, so it's like a one-shop stopping today.
Yeah, that's you know, I think that's what people forget in you know, you have these big cities, the big malls, you have the river parks of the world, and everybody goes to River Park and you fight for parking.
Exactly.
And I think as I drove through Minkler, I looked at it and it's like, there's parking everywhere. You just got to watch out for the cars that are going 80 miles an hour through town.
Exactly. You know, it's like a little, you know, Russian roulette right across, you know. But you can make it. It actually works. You just have to take the time to stop. You know, it's a wonderful little store. It's an experience, I believe, because it's like more American than America. It was built and established when people knew each other's name. You know, I have customers that have been coming in for 45 years, the whole time, that one. And it's just a wonderful place to work. I've always loved it. You know, by the grace of God, I have people that walk in the store, spend money, and I get to stay there.
All right, well, we've got a caller, so we're going to have a caller. How are you? It's Tal Cloud with Connect Me. What's your comments today?
Yeah, I would just like to ask, what was her way she feels about everything that led up to, I mean, Minkler being put on the map by that police shooting. I mean, did she know the guy? I heard there was a lot of problems there. What's the real story there? If she can give it to us. Thank you.
Well, we will definitely give that story to you as part of this interview. We'll continue with the positive, and we'll get to maybe the darker side of Minkler after one of the next breaks. But we will talk about that, because that is part of the heritage of Minkler.
Yeah.
So
good things, bad things always happen.
Yeah.
You have good and evil in every situation. You know, right now it's a booming little metropolis. I really feel like it's going to grow. With the road changing, it'll be a little quieter, and you'll have to make an effort to stop by Minkler. But as my sign says, it's an experience. I'm looking for it's an experience and a destination. Have a new business coming in.
And you're called a cash store, and I think cash is those green dollars. Is that what we have? Green dollars. I don't know if anybody has them in their wallet.
It's old-fashioned.
It seems like everything is plastic, little square thing now. But your store is only a cash store.
Right.
And
it's
explain why it's a cash store. I don't understand that.
Back in the day, and that's probably in the 1900s. I'm not sure. It was either called a cash store or a trading post. Trading posts, you could take eggs or beads or anything like that. Cash stores were cash only. You were not trading, you know, your goods for something else. And to this day, I don't take credit cards, so it's pretty much cash only. You know, and you'll have to dig in the ashtray if you don't have enough, and miraculously it comes out. And
right,
so
we're
it's
seeing
awesome.
some pictures on the video here of your cash store, and you've got an old-fashioned cash register there. In fact, it's not electronic. I don't think you have an electronic cash register. You have a couple old-fashioned cash registers.
Right.
It looks like your floors are woods, and it looks like you still have the bins there from the dry goods.
Yes, that big long counter was actually a 1920. It was in the store when it was first built. The wood floors are original from 1920. There is actually below that little camera right there is a beer bar that you can actually still drink beer. That's why I lie in parking only, you know,
Oh, yeah, line parking only sporadic. Yeah,
exactly,
I think. Yeah,
exactly.
and we have big liars up there and all
big
kinds
liars,
of liars.
Little liars, and big fish. The next one is like a big and little stories. It's like fish stories, hunt stories. Everything gets bigger when you're not there.
When the beer gets flowing.
Exactly.
Well, now
yeah.
that's another point, I guess. You say you have a beer bar, so you can.
Yes.
So can you drink whiskey in there? Can you drink
No.
wine? Can you drink? No.
It's just technically a beer only. And my hours are like from 8 to 6, so you have to be an early drinker. I don't go past there. And
so somebody can come into your store and they can buy milk and eggs, and they can also drink a beer.
Exactly.
Is there any other stores in Fresno County like that?
I don't believe so. No.
Wow. Okay.
No. It's a very unique situation.
So if I wanted to buy your store tomorrow, could I have that license? Is that something, or is it?
No, I believe that you could probably have it transferred. I transferred it into my name. And so I wouldn't know why you wouldn't be able to be grandfathered into that
But
situation.
there's not many. I think you told me off camera. There's maybe 1 or 2 left in the state of California where you can do that.
Yes, very, very much.
Wow.
And we used to have an ABC man that used to come in. He was our customer. He actually was like, hey, can you do that? My mom said the license right over there up against the wall. And so he checked it out and he's like, wow, first time.
That's neat. Well, when we come back, we're going to continue on with the story of Minkler. We'll get into the police shooting, which is part of the history of Minkler. If you want to be a part of the show, it's 436 Me TV, option 11. So please stay tuned from the set of beautiful Ventura TV.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
All right, you're back on Connect with Me with Tal Cloud, filling in for John Mallos. If you want to be part of the program, it's 436 Me TV, option 11. We'd love to have your calls. We're talking today with Mary, the Queen of Minkler. And how did you get your title, Queen Mary, the Queen of Minkler?
I believe that I probably dubbed it myself.
So you put your own hat on.
I put my own hat on. It was time for something to be really royal in Minkler, and I said, you know what, I need to be a queen. Bingo.
So that's how you became royalty in Minkler.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
The big QM.
Yeah, QM. That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Like
and at one point you were selling your town.
Yes, probably like in the 2000s. We were not sure what we wanted to do. My mom was getting older. And so I just thought, you know what, let's put it on the internet and see what happens. Well, there was over 38,000 hits. Very serious people, but nobody ever stepped up. So I knew that God had a different plan, not mine.
So you decided just to keep the store, kind of revamp yourself, because you also, I've seen cowboy hats in there, and you have T-shirts, and you have local goods, local crafts.
Yes.
And you make some crafts yourself.
I make some of the crafts, the crosses and things like that. I kind of switched it around a little bit. We were not so crafty then. We certainly have had less groceries, and probably because, once big Walmarts and other stores came into business, it kind of took away from that. We used to have, 100 cases a month of groceries. Now it's more of beer and sodas and trinkets and things like that. And
chips and...
chips and sandwiches and things like that.
Yeah. That's good. What makes Minkler so unique for the locals? What do you think? Is it the beer bar? Is it a meeting place for the people in the river bottom area? This area, in fact, in case you're to understand, it's the river bottom area of Sanger, which is absolutely beautiful. The new Schoolhouse restaurant is right down the street. It's right before you turn left to go up the hill to Sequoia Kings Canyon. So you get a tremendous amount of tourists that come in as well. People from all over the world stop into your store. Because you're on a few blogs, and you have your website and the Minkler website on Facebook. So what makes it unique?
I think it is the camaraderie that people are missing in their life right now. It's so unique. It's like going back in time. I've been told many things like this is more America than America. The Americana that goes on in here, this is how our whole world was established by small town USA. And it's so gotten away with big cities and things like that, that when people come in that store, that door when it opened, it was just like a time capsule. And I think that that's mostly what brings, and then a lot of my friends tell me it's just me. So
well, you know, always
I'm not
meeting
sure.
royalty and a queen
Yes,
is always fun. I mean, who can
exactly.
complain about meeting a queen?
That's right.
I love being
You
with
know.
a queen right now, so I don't get to be with queens very often.
You don't have to go to England.
Yeah, no, right there. We have
Exactly.
you right there in Minkler. But
Right.
let's talk about one of the darker days a caller brought up earlier. And if you want to be a part of the program, it's 436-ME-TV, option 11. But one of the callers brought in earlier about, you know, the terrible shooting that lost the life of two wonderful deputies, or one deputy and one
Exactly.
police officer from the city of Reedley, Javier Behar and
Wallemeyer.
Wallemeyer,
Yes.
Officer Wallemeyer. I mean, that was a dark day for Minkler, certainly, and I know you were there when it all happened, and it was
Right.
actually something that there was problems going on for many weeks that led up to that shooting. You want
Right.
to tell how that's changed Minkler?
You know what? It has changed Minkler. Everybody has positive, negative always in their life. You have to realize that. You're not always going to have glamour. And in that, you know, it was a bad situation that went wrong. It could have been handled a lot differently. It wasn't. You know, I don't know what was really wrong with him or right with him, but I just know that it was a bad day in the situation. It could have been handled differently, but it was not. And so there you go. That's you know,
And
what happened.
for leading up to that, there's many shots fired in your building,
Shots
and
fired
fires, and I mean,
Yeah.
many people I know, you were telling me off camera that you were very concerned your store was going to burn down. There's
Yeah.
fires being set all around
yeah.
Minkler.
And he was, I think, a disgruntled renter. If there's anything that could have started it, I don't know, but you know, certainly we don't know what the lives of people are. So you have to always give them the benefit of the doubt. Be very careful, and you know, you don't want to step on people's toes. And I don't know him personally. He came in the store occasionally, him and his wife, but they were not chummy friends that
Right.
sat down and had beers and stuff like that.
Because
They
you
were
actually
just
have in
very-
your store, they have one here in the set of Ventura TV, an RCA dog, the old
Yes,
traditional RCA
yes.
dog, and you have one in your store where there's a arrow going through it,
Exactly.
which matched the bullet hole that went
Right.
through from when he was shooting your store up at night.
That was probably like the first blood, if you want to call it. It was the first shot that was ever fired, and it happened to hit. We didn't really know where it came from. Did a little bit of, you know, just
CSI
technical thing. Yeah,
investigation?
exactly. I felt like I was like one of the big ones, you know. And when it came out on the front door, I knew that I would change my life, so it would not be a problem for me. You know, I'm going to take care of myself, and so.
And you've done that really well. There's a beautiful memorial across the street
Exactly.
now with flowers and
Yes.
a stone and remembrance of those two
That's right.
deputies. And you've really
I
gained the
felt very
support of a lot
honored.
of
Yeah.
the officers around that have
Yes,
come to...
they come all the time just to check it out and see, you know, what it's, and they have some peaceful time. You know, they're grieving still in that. So it takes, you know, it takes a whole community to get over something sometime.
Well,
I think we've
there's a
turned
lot
it
of neat
around.
things going on in Minkler, and in fact, you're
Exactly.
looking now. I mean, the town's expanding. You have a new business across the street that just opened up,
Exactly,
and that's
yes.
exciting. We're going
I'm
to talk
so
about
excited.
we're going to talk with Priscilla Luther next
Yes.
on that. So, I mean, I guess in final, I mean, what do you want people to take away from, you know, what your life is in Minkler, and come by and say hello to you? I mean, what makes it so special during these holidays?
You know what? We have a wonderful program. It's a one-shop stopping. Come out and see what you can get. There's gifts. Just enjoy the day. You know, it's a beautiful little spot. It's peaceful, quiet, except for the road. You can just.
And you have a
handle it
nice
really
park
well.
behind your
Yes,
place
a
as
little
well,
park
along the
that-
creek. You're right on the creek there. And what's the name of the creek that's right next to you?
It's Bird Slough.
Bird Slough. So yeah, and it
Yes.
runs year round. It's a
Year
beautiful
round,
little
it's a
creek.
beautiful little place. It's just beautiful all around. There's gorgeous trees. You know, it's so green through that area. I have people from all over the world that think it's beautiful, beautiful.
Well, that's great. Well, when we come back from Ventura TV, we're going to continue on with the story of Minkler and the newest business, one that's been open for less than 2 months. We'll be right back from Ventura TV. It's Tal Cloud on Connect with Me.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. Me TV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
Me TV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Welcome to a new beginning. An adventure that goes well beyond passive diversions. Empowering through exploration. Engaging your passions. Inspiring with lives lived outdoors. Come with us. Untamed Sports TV.
You can find Untamed Sports on over-the-air channel 13.8.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Ladies' Night was started in his honor. Barstools pulled themselves out for him. The only thing Chuck Norris is afraid of is her. Cheers is the most memorable bar in the world. You may not always watch comedy, but when you do, watch Cheers.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
All right, we're back with Connect with Me with Tal Cloud, filling in for John Mallows. We're talking about small business in the giant town of Minkler. In the last segments we had on the Queen of Minkler. In this segment we're going to bring in someone new, Priscilla Luther. She just started Unique Gifts and Rare Finds, I think is the name of your business, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But Priscilla, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
And tell us, you're new to Minkler. What brought you to the giant town of Minkler? You're not from Minkler, and now you've opened a business up in the last 45 days. What caused you to come to Minkler?
Well, I always wanted a country boutique. And when I seen Minkler, you know, I seen the building, it hadn't been used for a long time. And so I had met Mary before in the past, and I says, you know, if I want a country boutique, this is as country as it gets with the well traffic for a successful business.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you're out in the country. Your building's the older, there it is, Bird's Nest Unique Finds. So you're on an old, kind of an older building, and there you are in your store, and you basically had to go in there and gut the whole thing and start from scratch. So, I mean, tell us about what you have in your store while we're watching the video.
I have a little bit of everything for everybody, is what I try to do, anywhere from jewelry to, and it's not just any jewelry, you know, it's very uniquely made. All of my artists, and I do call them artists because they do create these things uniquely, you know, they have their own unique touch to things. There's a gal who does jewelry who makes them out of, you know, the ends of the shotgun shells, you know, or the ends of the bullets, which is really unique in itself. I have a lot of spiritual, you know, items such as crosses or, you know, the Bible covers, things like that.
And then I think I saw in there you had some very unique birdhouses as
I
well.
do.
So quite interesting birdhouses that are unusual.
Yes, I have some amazing birdhouses. Like I said, all my artists are amazing. The one that does my birdhouses, her name's Joey, and she's just been a blessing to the shop, and she puts a lot of time into her birdhouses. They're very uniquely made, you know, with whether they're old items that she puts on there, doorknobs, you know, fishing attire. It's really unique.
And I think that's what you're trying to be is a little bit. And you know, Mary has a store across the street, and your store is really just all crafts and art goods, and you bring in artists from all over the valley to present their wares. It's a nice place for them to show off their goods. Is that what you're doing?
Correct. You know, and like I tell them before, it's a home for their items. You know, you can go and do all these craft fairs and craft shows, but sometimes, you know, you either break even with your fees, you know, after paying and, you know, lugging all your stuff to these events and setting up, and you either break even or you don't make enough. You know, it's hit and miss all the time. And so
and
now
is that
you
what
have
you
a
did
home.
prior to opening the show? Did you? It sounds like you've done some of these.
Yes, you know,
the circuit or whatever, the trade fairs, whatever those may be.
Yeah, I did that for a while, and it just got old really fast, you know, and it's a lot of work, and you have to be there all day, and, you know, like I said, sometimes you do good, sometimes you don't. It's hit and miss. And just
what are your hours in Minkler? Because I know Mary has limited hours, 8 to 6, and what are your hours?
Well, I'm 10 to 6 during the week, except for Wednesdays. I close at 5 o'clock, you know, but I open at 10. Saturdays I'm 9 to 5, and Sundays right now I'm open for the holiday, but after Christmas we'll be closed on Sundays.
Right, give yourself some rest.
Yes, I do need
yeah,
that
and you're
day
closed
off.
on Sundays as well, correct, Mary?
Yes.
Yeah. So Minkler's a great town to visit midweek. So when you get a chance, you come out midweek and visit Minkler. What's been the biggest challenge of starting a building? You know, going to a building that's hasn't been used for a long time and opening a business. What's been your biggest challenge?
You know, one of the greatest things is it's kind of been effortless because I do have God my center, and He's helped me with a lot. You know, it's made it effortless in a way. But I think my biggest challenge would have to be just getting the building ready and preparing myself, you know, for a new business. You don't know if they're going to do good or if they're not, you know, especially in this economy. That's been the biggest hurdle to get over, you know, just knowing that it's going to be okay, things are going to work out. Yeah,
because a lot of people probably are just used to just flying through Minkler, making that curve, and off you go. You don't. I mean, I've talked to a few people getting ready for the show, and they've mentioned that, yeah, I never even stop at Minkler. I live right down the street, and I don't even stop there. So a lot of people don't realize how much you have to offer.
Very true. It is a busy road. It's kind of scary at times because traffic just don't even follow the speed limits. They just fly through that corner. So that you know, that is a big challenge as well. You know, so.
What are you looking to do in the future? What are some of your plans for the future?
Well, you know, we want to start doing some seasonal stuff. Whether, for example, like for fall, you know, do a little fall festive thing there, you know, with pumpkins and family time, you know, and then for Christmas we'll do some more interesting things next year because we'll be well established to be able to have time for that kind of stuff.
Well, that's great. Well, let me get a call. We got a caller here. Yeah. Hi, it's Tal with Connect With Me. What's your question?
Hi, I wondered if she's available to, or one of her artists are available to make stuff, custom designs, like something I want done for my home only, or maybe something that I see some nice stuff there, but just a couple of things I would like maybe change, make to look like it's my home.
Okay, all right. Thank you. We'll let her answer that. I mean, probably some of your artists would be happy to make custom.
Of course, and we do custom work, you know, because we do all create these things, you know, we're able to take orders, you know, and you just tell us what you want, colors, themes, and we kind of run with it.
Well, that's good. We had a couple questions for either one of you, and if you want to ask a question, you can email us a question or give us a call at 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do you know what's going on with the trailer park that's down the road and with the road coming through? Do you know what that whole plan works, Mary? You might know that question.
Well, that plan is that the road, the new, you know, connected 180, will come through. It's going to bypass me by 600 feet north of me. So those old trailers and everything are going to be gone soon. You know, they've been working on that for probably a year, but it will go through. That will just be part of the new 180 past us. And so that's where we need to work on, you know, don't forget we're there, because we will stay there. The road changes, it moves north, but we will be there. And
they'll make the road less crowded. And it's really not that bad to get in and out. There's a few times at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think it's really busy, and at 5 to 5:30. Yeah. But other than that, it's generally not too bad.
You just have to be patient.
And we had a second question, and I know this is I forget the name of the ranch, but it was right next to you, the Pillabos Ranch.
Yes.
Booth
Ranch.
It's Booth Ranch now, but it was another name prior to that. I think it was Robin Hood Ranch or...
the Robin Hood Ranch.
Robin Hood Ranch. Some people know it as that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they used to do Boy Scouts long ago. I think that's why it was Robin Hood. Pillabos owned it. He sold out to the Booth Ranch probably 12 years or so ago, and they've improved it hugely. It does a lot of great things for underprivileged children and things like that. So, but yes, it used to be a Boy Scout, and they would come out for, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, I guess, to have campouts and things.
That's great. What are some of the satisfying in your short business career, Priscilla? What's been the most satisfying part of this business and your brief 45-day career here of owning a business? What's been most satisfying for you?
The people. You meet so many different walks of life. You can give them words of encouragement, or they just come in and they put a smile on your face, with the excitement that they have, just us being there. Nothing's been there for so long. Everybody's really excited about something more being in Minkler. So
yes,
that's been great. Yeah.
Well, that's and that's good. We've got another question here. We're going to ask what happened to Pierce's Park? I think a lot of people, that's just down the road. Pierce's Park, in case you don't know, is almost at the Kings River. It's right across the way. It recently had a fire where the main structure burned down, and it's got a lot of history, some of it not the best as well, from way back when. But Mary, you've been part of Minkler for nearly 50 years. Pierce's Park and there is another part of the history of the river bottom area of Sanger.
That's definitely another part. It's seen a lot of action, all kinds of different action. I have no idea what caused the burn. It just was here one day and gone the next, very quick and fast.
All right, we have another caller. Hi, what's your questions for Mary on Connect With Me?
Yes, did she know anything about the rumor that Sontag and Evans, the train robbers, came through Minkler just before the turn of the century? Does she have any personal information about that?
There's probably been a lot of crazy stories at Minkler, and we've probably heard a lot at the bar. You've heard a lot at the bar. So, do you know anything about the train robbers of Minkler?
You know what? They probably came through. They never were around there. I believe, if I'm not sure, they ended up somewhere around Squaw Valley and like off to the east of us. I've had a few people talk to me about that, but I'm not really good. You just have to, Google it. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Everything's on Google.
Yes, everything.
Yeah, and
exactly.
your town is not a Google town per se. You're old style for both of you, and it's been exciting to have you on the show today. So you're old style with what's there, and I guess what do you want to before we leave this segment and move on to our next segment? What do you think is the most you want people to take away about Minkler?
How wonderful it is to have a small town and be a part of so much camaraderie around that. God sent us right there. He's a big protection for us, and we think he's awesome, and he just keeps bringing us new adventures all the time. And they could be a part of that adventure.
And for you, Priscilla, anything you want to say to have people come out and see you? And
it's definitely become a destination. So I would say, if you're looking for something interesting local, come and check out Minkler, definitely.
I just
all right. We have. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to tell you, thank you so much for letting us be on. And these are Minkler bucks.
Oh, I've got Minkler bucks. I don't know if you can see those, but they're right there. Minkler bucks. Does that mean Does it mean if I use one of those X, I get something special?
You get $1. Yes.
You know what? I'll give it to the viewers. Any viewer want to call in, I'll split this in half. Any viewer want to come down here and pick up Minkler dollars at beautiful Ventura TV, I will split this in half and give you my commission for today. Let's get the last caller in. Hi, it's Tal Cloud on Connect With Me.
Hi, I'm like watching the TV right now, and I want to know where in Minkler is this address.
Okay, Mary, what's the address for me? Is it 18?
Mine is 18243 East Kings Canyon, Sanger, California. 559-787-2456.
All right, so if you want to come and visit Minkler, just go out 180, and when you make a curve after you pass the river, I think that's the best way to describe it. Once you pass the river, it's maybe half a mile after the river. There's some streams out there. It's beautiful Sanger country. Oh, we got one more call. I was going to go to break, but I've got one more call. Here we go. We're lighting it up today. Hey, welcome with Connect With Me with Tal Cloud.
Lost him.
Did I lose him?
No, he went away.
Okay, we lost that caller, but we'll be right back after this from the beautiful Ventura TV studios, and we'll be talking with CenCal Business Finance and Cal Kane about how you can get small business loans here in Fresno.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, oh, good right, left. He's coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in server centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye.
Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner!
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman
fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The Adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country. The only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide-under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, you're back with Tal Cloud with Connect with Me here at beautiful Ventura TV studios. We're going to continue our conversation about small business with Cal Kane from CenCal Business Finance. Cal?
Hi, Tal.
Great to have you. Great to have you here. But before, we had a call. The call dropped off. If you want to call back, feel free to call at 436-ME-TV, option 11. We continue talking about Minkler. It's a great store. I have to confess, though, I've been there once or twice. I live in that area, and it's one of the neatest places in Fresno County. So I do know a lot about Minkler, and I'm very excited about it. We have that caller who's just called back. So, no, we haven't. All right. Get rid of that. So, but anyways, Minkler's a great town, and I'm proud to say that I live in Minkler and around that area, and it's been a great part of who I've been in Fresno County for the last 20 years. But also, I think it's important is when you're in small businesses, where you get your money from. And I was lucky enough nearly 20 years ago to receive a loan from CenCal Business Finance when I started my business. And it's like the commercial where the guy had the shaver, and he liked the company so much he bought it. And I thought, I like this product so much, I want to be involved with it. So for the last 15, 18 years, I've been involved with CenCal Business Finance, and I've helped a lot of small businesses, along with our board, get loans all over Fresno County and in the Central Valley. And right now we have Cal Kane, who's our business development officer for CenCal Business Finance. And I wanted to talk to you, Cal, and explain to the viewers a little bit about CenCal Business Finance and what you do. And you do SBA lending. A lot of people think SBA, anything with government, is no good, run away, I don't want to be involved in that. And
Right.
tell us a little bit about CenCal Business Finance.
Well, CenCal Business Finance is based in the Central Valley, probably been around for about 25, 30 years. We provide financing for small businesses. Our type of program is to purchase their own building. So typically the small business has to occupy 51% of the building to qualify. We do it with banks, local banks, large banks. We participate as the second, the bank does the first to get to the 90%, and the borrower comes in with 10%.
Well, let's get to this call right away. Hi, it's Tal Cloud with Connect with Me. Do you have a question?
Hi, I just wanted to let you know that I have been to the Minkler stores, both of them, the older one and the new one, and it's just a great place to go visit and do shopping. I've even done Christmas shopping there. So I just wanted to make you guys aware, or everyone aware, that it is a beautiful place.
Well, that's
all.
That's it. Thanks for the phone call. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful drive out there. And a lot of the small businesses like Minkler is what your loan programs are designed for. If you wanted to buy a building, that's what it's designed for.
Right, and actually there's a friend of mine that just opened a winery in Sanger that he didn't use an SBA loan, but we could have financed that. So You know,
yeah, I think we have a screenshot up. Possibly we can show some of the way the loan programs work. Maybe a pie graphic that shows it up on the screen.
Right.
So let's explain that again. If I'm a small business borrower and I want to come in and I want to, you know, I want to buy a building, what do I need to do, and how am I involved in it?
So if you, let's say you were leasing your own building and you wanted to buy it now, the seller wanted to buy it, say the purchase price was $1 million, the bank would finance 50% of that $1 million.
And that's the private sector lender there on our screen.
Right. So you'd go to your bank, or we'd find a bank, and they do 50% of the loan. We would be in second position, and we're the SBA. So our 40% is derived from we bulk them and sell them on the secondary market to investors, and that's how the rate's determined. And our rate's been around less than 5% for the last couple of years, so pretty
and
good.
So the borrower would come up with 10%.
10%.
Which really, in traditional financing, is 10% a lot of money for this, or is it a limited amount?
Conventional financing is typically 20 to 30% down. So figure 25% down. The benefit of ours is long-term rates, fixed rates, and lower down payments, so the business can hold on to their capital.
And that's really what SBA is designed to do. Here's some of the advantages of the SBA program. So if you want to go through that screen, that'd be great, Cal.
Yeah, sure. Long-term fixed rate loans for the purchase. So our term is 20 years. Typically, the bank's is 20 to 25.
So you have a good term. You can spread it out for a long time.
Spread it out over a long period of time. We do any real estate, and we do long-term equipment too, financing, and we do equipment on 10-year basis. We work with all the banks around the Central Valley and the large banks.
And so you do the community banks as well as Wells Fargo and
Chase,
B of A and Chase, and then you do your smaller Fresno First banks and
Premier Valley Bank, Valley Business Bank. So yeah, we participate, and we want all the banks to use us if they can. And we get a lot of our loans from commercial real estate brokers who will bring us in, and then they'll have us talk to different banks to find the best deal for their client.
Gotcha. And so when people often mention that they're afraid of SBA financing, they're afraid of the government, how do you take away those fears with your program?
Well, I've been doing this for 20 years. I came from commercial real estate, and I kind of say I can get you through the process. I've been doing it for 20 years. I know the ins and outs. I mean, just not from reading something, but being beat up over the years and knowing what to avoid. But, there used to be that you'd think it was 120 days, but we can get things done in 60 days or less.
And there's a lot of, the economy's turning around now, and we have, businesses looking to expand, looking to grow. Maybe people are on a lease. If you're on a lease, do you think that makes sense where you're only paying a monthly amount to go and buy a building? Why would you want to go do that?
Well, a lot of times we'll do scenarios of lease versus purchase, but the other part of the equation is depreciation and interest that will help them in their tax planning and the benefit of ownership. So we ask them to consult with their accountant, but there are a lot of benefits to ownership, and one of the things I usually say, and I better knock on wood, is nobody's ever came back to me and said, I wish I didn't buy that building.
Right, that's true, especially with the way the economy is now on the upswing here in the Central Valley. So that's great. Well, listen, we're going to continue on with this conversation. We're going to be talking about microloans. We're going to talk about other small business lending, and maybe talk about some specific customers that Cal has helped get into small business loans and get into their new building, and how they're successful today and maybe grown their business from when they started. Like myself, it was a big leap of faith to buy that building, and now 20 years later it's almost paid for, and one of the best decisions I ever made. So from the home of the beautiful Ventura's TV studios, it's Tal Cloud with Connect With Me, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
All right, we're back with Connect with Me. If you want to be part of the program, you can give us a call at 436-ME-TV, option 11. Also, if you have a question, send it in. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen on an email or Facebook us. Let us know what you think about this program. Anyways, as we've continued talking about what's going on in small business lending, you also do microloans, and I'm not sure, does people understand what a microloan is versus the SBA 504 program?
Typically, a micro loan is a smaller type loan. I believe it's under $50,000.
Continue on.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
And it can be used for not just real estate, but usually inventory and working capital in some cases.
And then also on screenshot 6 we have is kind of some more minimum and maximums allowed of different loan programs that we have.
Right. Well, typically at CenCal, we focus on the 504 program, and we also do a few micro loans when we can, and then we also have kind of a sister entity that we refer to as Small Business Development Center, and they do loans under $100,000.
Okay, so people can get, if they wanted to start their business, they can get smaller dollar loans.
Correct.
And if we were talking earlier about a small business that's contemplating this, and maybe give us an example of some of the businesses you've worked with that, what they were trying to decide, whether to buy or lease, build a new facility or not, from the ground up or just buy an existing building, how that works and how you help them.
Well, a couple instances I thought were interesting is a younger guy, well, younger than me, but us, he bought a hardware store from the older owner that he'd worked there for 15 years, and the older owner sold him the business, but he still retained the lease. Well, he came to us and said, I'd like to buy the building, the owner wants to sell it. So in that case, he got to own the business, plus he got to buy the building, and he's paying less in payments than he was in rent.
And I think that's what maybe a lot of people don't realize is that on option page 3 of our little PowerPoint, you offer the assistance to get the deals done and the no hassle, and really can kind of guide them through that process. For people that don't think they can do it, what I've been surprised over the years is really, as you look at this, if you want to go through this,
Sure.
You really can make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much preliminarily, if I can, talk to the potential borrower and ask them a few questions, and then get some financial information, financial statements and tax returns, I could pretty much tell them if we're going to get there or not.
And the process to get loans approved, you do it here? Is it done locally or is it done nationally, or who ultimately approves these loans?
Well, as you know, because you sit on our board, we put together the loan package, and we see if we think it's a loan that it can be approved, it goes to the board for their approval. We'll go through the financials, character, credit, things that you'd look for in approving a loan. If it passes through a loan committee, then it's sent up to SBA for their blessing and approval.
Gotcha. So just to go over a bit of the loan approval process, because I am involved in that, so I'll just cut to the chase. I know how it works as well. Is that the interesting thing about our program is there's a local group of lenders here, and there's small businessmen like myself, and there's people that are political people, and a diverse group of folks here in the community that look at your loan package and say, hey, is this going to be a good risk? Is this a good loan? And that's what I think is so unique about CenCal Business Finance is we have people locally looking to approve your deal, because once we approve your deal, it's automatically, the bond's automatically sold on Wall Street, and the bankers, the bank that you're with, they have to approve your deal as well. So it's a two-step approval process, but I know locally, our board, we truly take the advice of the people we work with, but we really, because we're so diverse, we want to help small business.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment of the type of board that we have is pro-business, and we're looking to get good loans out in the community and spur hire more employees. That's our goal.
And have you seen with high-speed rail and some of the things going on in downtown now with the new general plan, how do you think that's going to affect, have you seen any deals come up with high-speed rail?
Yeah, I have. I specifically haven't been involved in financing one or a part of them, but a couple buildings that I was working on, the high-speed person that was involved bought the building. So it's out there.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll continue talking about business lending, small business lending, as well as the effects of high-speed rail maybe on the real estate market, and where Cal sees our market going in 2015, because it is going to be a new year here shortly, and I think growth is happening in the Central Valley and all over, because our programs, we work all over the Central California, literally all over California. So when we come back from Ventura TV, we'll continue with Cal Kane. I'm Tal Cloud on Connect with Me.
A top secret location. It's the Spies Who Love Me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, ma'am.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
All right, you're back with Tal Cloud with Connect With Me, filling in for John Mallos for one of our last segments of the day. I've been here for the last 3 days having a great time. You'll be lucky, though, because John Mallos will be back in this seat tomorrow and get the program back on track. But we were talking with Cal Kane, and a question came in from one of our viewers about microloans and the flexibility of the payments and how you work on the microloan program. And I know you have a few programs with a couple different banks that you administer. So how flexible are those microloan programs?
Well, I mean, there's another SBA program called a 7A that we don't do, but it can be financed. It can finance inventory, and it's typically done over, inventory's done over a 7-year period. It can be. So it depends on the type of inventory it is and how fast it goes in and out, but yes, it can be done.
And what areas are you doing loans? Where are you doing all the different loans for CenCal Business Finance? Is it just in Fresno County, Madera County? Are you going over the coast? Where exactly are you going?
We do have have some presence and contacts in the Central Coast area. Try to go up to Bakersfield, but not we don't really market in that area, and then probably up to Modesto, but we don't really market in that area either. But deals come that contacts that we've developed over the years, and they call us and ask us to participate with them.
Right. And will you do loans that aren't business owner occupied? Can anybody get a loan through CenCal Business Finance, or do you have to own a business and control so much of the property that you're buying?
You have the biggest criteria is, are you going to occupy 51% for your business? So we can't do investment. If somebody calls us on a deal that we can't do investment, we'll refer it to one of our banking partners.
And you have how many banking partners do you have with CenCal Business Finance that you deal with? How many banks are out there that you're dealing with, talking to on a daily basis?
I would say 20 to 25 in that range, yeah.
And I think rates, everybody wants to know about rates, and I think we have a screenshot of some rates that we had up for this month. You sent out a newsletter that I happened to see. Mm-hmm. And so explain how this rate works right now. That's
well, as you alluded to on the bonds and how they're established and selling on to investors, that's determined each month. So each month there's a rate that comes out on about the 10th of the month, and this last month was 4.77. So it's hovered around a little under 5 for the last year or two.
And that's incredible rates for small business, because often you see much higher rates with small business, and certainly with, I guess the banks like this program too because they don't have a lot of risk. No. Explain the risk component, because everybody hears about risk in banking, risk with what's going on in the lending world these days, and explain how the risk works.
Yeah, the risk really is to the bank. They're in first position at a 50% loan to value, and we're in second position. So if something went south, they're sitting at a 50% loan to value, which is a good position to be in. So we're lessening their risk on the project.
And I think that's important. That's why the rates are so low, because the risk to the bank is limited, because the reality is, even in the worst of times, we did not drop, the values of real estate did not drop by 50, 60%. It might have dropped by 20 or 30%, and the bank's still in a very good position to get out of the loan if something goes bad.
That's right. And in the times from 08 to 11, SBA loans were still prominent, and banks like to use it. during those times.
Right. We talked before the last break a little bit about high-speed rail, and since you're in the lending business and you've dealt with a lot of the bankers as well as real estate agents here in the Valley, let's just talk about a little bit of high-speed rail and how you see that affecting the Fresno market, as well as you mentioned a couple people that are looking to move. And I know this week we had a story about some of the buildings being knocked down and condemned. So a lot of businesses are going to be forced to be relocated. What's your thoughts on high-speed rail and how that's going to play into the real estate market?
Well, I think that it's going to spur more construction because there's a limited amount of available buildings existing. So it's going to spur, rates are low, businesses are getting better, so banks are more willing to do construction projects.
Yeah, and do you think prices are going to go up because of what's going on with high-speed rail for the existing properties? So if a business owner, if your lease is coming up, you may want to consider approaching your landlord and say, hey, could I buy the building? But do you see inflation in the real estate market right now?
I do think that the commercial real estate is stabilizing and not going down. I think if anything, it is increasing.
So you see it's a safe bet for people to buy these?
Yeah, I mean, owner-user is always pretty good bet and safe bet, and banks like those type of loans.
Right. So yeah, there's a lot of, I guess there's a lot of lending opportunities for borrowers out there. You mentioned the 7A program. I've read one time that some of the loan programs, I think when you go out to get involved in them, the banks can make a lot of money based on their risk. And the 7A program, for some things, works very well for. I think inventory is one of them.
Right.
But for buying real estate, it's probably, what's your thoughts? It's probably not the best program.
Well, 504s, one of the big benefits of 504s, we don't, well, I haven't seen it in the last 6 or 7, we don't require additional collateral. In a 7-8 loan on real estate, because most banks discount their collateral, they'll look for additional collateral to support the loan, if it's available.
And one of the things I've seen on the 7A program is the banks make a tremendous amount of money on them because they're well secured, but the interest rates are usually traditionally higher than the 504 loan program. So the banks, it may be the best loan for the bank, but maybe not the best loan for the borrower.
That's right. And if we feel, we'll show both loans scenarios, and if a 7A works better because there's business acquisition, inventory, working capital, we'll turn them that way. We'll try to do whatever's best for the client.
And I think that, in the day, why CenCal's been so successful. You have over $65 million in assets here locally in Fresno that's controlled locally. So I think that's kind of the neat thing of this show today is we're talking about local businesses. We've had Minkler on here, the town of Minkler and what they're doing. And this, with CenCal Business Finance, we're talking about how to finance your building. What about if I had a hotel or a gas station? What are some of the more unique properties? Does the program change at all if I have a gas station? Is it the same down payment or a hotel? I know a lot of times for hotels, people didn't want to lend on hotels.
Yeah, typically on single-purpose properties like a hotel or a gas station, you have to add 5%, so they'd come up with 15. If it was a startup, they'd have to add an additional 5% to be at 20%. But we do hotels, we do ground-up construction hotels, we do gas stations, car washes, mini storages, some things that weren't traditionally SBA. We do mini storages. So SBA's kind of expanded their possibility of businesses.
And you've been in this business now for 20 plus years, Cal. And what's the most satisfaction you've had from a loan? What's your favorite loan that you've ever done? What people come back and talk to you years after, say, thank you, I'm glad I did this deal, or you helped me out. What are some stories you have?
So one thing that I always say is I have some people that you'd never think that would call me, and we talk every week, and we haven't done a deal for 5 years, but one's a gas station in Paso Robles that we just became friends, and you wouldn't, if you looked at him and you looked at me, you'd think they don't go together. And then there's a hotel owner in Bakersfield that I've done 2 hotel deals with. We stay connected, and he's doing another project that we're going to finance, hopefully in Visalia. So you'd never know it, but they're like, you become friends, and really good friends.
Well, I think any time you have a small business, whether it's be your accountant, your banker, your attorney, any of those people are so critical to the future and your growth. Is that kind of what you found as well?
Yeah.
So you're really the part of what makes this person successful, maybe for long term. I know in my case, years ago, being able to get a CenCal Business Finance loan really helped our business. And while many of my competitors have struggled with high lease rates when the economy went up, I've been lucky that I've had a very consistent rate for the last 20 years. Like I said, I'm almost paid off. I think maybe it's been the last 18 years, but I'm almost paid off, and it's been very exciting for me. So I'm glad you were able to come on and talk about what you're doing here.
Thank you.
So yeah, we appreciate it. So as we continue on, I will not be here tomorrow. You're going to be lucky enough to have John Malice will be back joining the show. But I've had a great time filling in. I had a great time talking with Mary, a great time with the kids from Sanger High talking about what's going on out there. So we've just had a great time all together. I appreciate watching. It's Tal Cloud with Connect with Me.